Here we go. Item number.
SCP-638.
Oh, it's neutralized.
Object class. Neutralized. Special containment procedures. All members of SCP-638 are
I love this dude's
deceased,
voice.
and their remains have been disposed of in accordance with standard protocol. Description. SCP-638 was the Pulaski Crew, an organized crime squad active in the 1910s as part of the larger Chicago Spirit.
Chi-Town,
While
baby.
Chicago Spirit boss Richard D. Chappelle was not a member, he organized the group and led their only major heist in 1914.
Has a face on
The
that mother
Pulaski Crew
glove.
was comprised of 5
What
anomalous
is these
individuals
pictures
designated
he's using?
SCP-638A through E. SCP-638A. Louis Bagel Bernstein,
Pyromancer.
31, Jewish American,
Pyromancer.
SCP-638B. Mads Moody, 38, American, anomalous strength. SCP-638-C. Giuseppe Permonto Fiore, 34, Italian-American, anomalously persuasive. SCP-638-D and E. Ah Num and Ah Tom, 41, Chinese.
Ah Num
twin
and Ah Tom.
thaumaturges.
Excuse me?
SCP-638, led by Chappelle, used their anomalous abilities to perpetrate the 1914 heist of the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. Over the course of 19 minutes, SCP-638 was able to eliminate security, take hostages, and gain access to the vault, which contained 2,000 short tons of gold bullion as part of a classified government handoff. The Chicago Police Department and embedded Foundation agents stormed the facility and detained SCP-638, finding Richard Chappelle and all the gold conspicuously absent. Embedded Agent Chad Pick began performing preliminary interviews on the members of SCP-638 to attempt to ascertain the location of the bullion and the whereabouts of Richard D. Chappelle. Addendum 638-1. Interviews.
That
Interviewer,
noise.
Agent Chad Pick. Subject, SCP-638-A. Begin log. SCP-638-A. Detective, what can I do for you? Pick. I think we both know the answer to that question. SCP-638-A. Refresh my memory. Pick. I want to know where the money is. I want to know where the man is. And I want it now.
so intimidating.
SCP-638-A. You think I know where Mr. Chappelle is? And even if I did, give me one good reason why I would tell you.
Because I will torture you.
I know you know where he is. And I've got 30 reasons that a federal judge is more than happy to give you.
I feel like he's doing that while actually talking in that tone of voice the
I'm
narrator's
not afraid of a little time behind bars, detective. But at least in jail, I'll be alive. Have you ever met Mr. Chappelle, detective? Pick.
Detective. This sounds like
I can't say
Ra's
that
al
enough.
Ghul talking to Batman.
SCP-638-A. Consider yourself lucky. Usually, in this business, the closer you work with someone, the less you fear them. For Mr. Chappelle, the opposite is true. I worked with him on one of the biggest robberies ever planned.
He uses the
I'm
bathroom
just
with
as
the
scared
door
of him as
open.
everyone else. Pick. Is that right? SCP-638-A. No. More. I've seen what he does to snitches. I'll take some time
Snitches
over
get
that
stitches.
any day. But of course, this is all moot. Pick. And why is that? SCP-638-A. Because, detective, I don't know where he is. And frankly, the less I talk about him, the better. Pick. Fine.
These faces.
But I know you know where the gold is. SCP-638-A. Another folly, detective. I haven't killed anyone, which means I'm free of capital punishment. And I'm still largely in the prime of my life. Assuming I know where it is, why shouldn't I just serve my time and then come back for it as a free man? Pick. And what makes you think you're the only one with that idea? SCP-638A. Pause. What? Pick. You're smart, but it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. The other four are planning the exact same thing. And who's to say they won't get out early for good behavior?
They know where the goal's at. Just take it off.
Pick.
I didn't think that far.
A week before you, it'll be enough. By the time you're walking out of those gates, they'll be halfway across the country with enough money to buy everything in their way. So, you can either let the idiots have it, or tell me.
I mean, inflation and knock a few bills off that, the amount of diamonds, the amount of gold they stole.
SCP-638A is sweating profusely. SCP-638A. I don't know where it is.
These headphones starting to fuck up.
To it. Pick. What? SCP-638A. The twins. I was the can opener, they called me. Usually that means lockpick, but you don't exactly lockpick the Federal Reserve. I burned through the vault door itself. As soon as the police arrived, they ran into the vault and let the three of us standing in the lobby. They went in, did some of their, foreign hocus pocus, and by the time we were shooting at the buttons, it was all gone. I don't know where it is, which means neither do Fiore or Moody, but the twins do. Pick. Good to know. SCP-638A. I don't understand. He had a plan. He always has a plan.
Where did he get these pictures? Did he do these pictures himself?
SCP-638A.
Like him and his relatives or friends or something?
He said he had it all planned out, but everything went to shit as soon as the tellers dropped the dime. He wouldn't let something this risky flop. He's planning something. Pick. Yeah? SCP-638A. With Moody, no doubt. Palooka was worshiping
With Moody, no doubt.
He'd take a slug for the boss. They're up to something. I know it. End log. Interviewer. Agent Chad Pick. Subject. SCP-638B. Begin log. Pick. Mr. Moody. SCP-638B. Yeah. Pick. Care to answer some questions for me? SCP-638B. I ain't no rat, Bo. Pick. I see. Pity. Your associates didn't have the same incorruptibility. SCP-638B.
What?
What?
I'll kill him with my bare
I
hands.
have bagels. Singing like a bird.
Oh.
In the next cell over.
I thought he was like, I have
He was
bagels.
the smart one, right?
He gonna roll over for
Wise
some
head.
bagels.
SCP-638B. Yeah. Pick.
Yeah.
Then why don't you go on and follow his lead? Huh? Don't be a patsy. Spill the beans.
I read that as a completely different word.
SCP-638B. What you want to know? You said it yourself, Gumshoe. Bagels and the boss planned it all out. I was just the Bruno, supposed to keep the bulls off us, and the schmucks in line while we emptied the place. Pick.
Just a must.
Sure. But I want to know how you got in. SCP-638B. I already... Pick. You got two peepers, don't you? SCP-638B. Yeah. Pick. Then tell me what they saw. Don't take the fall for their plan falling through. Cooperate, and you'll get out of the can a little early.
You're still going to jail, but you'll get out early.
It was the WAP.
Somebody got to go to jail.
Whatever. Pick. Permonto.
Oh, I was like, Parmesan.
SCP-638B. Yeah.
It was cheesy.
He knew a Strega, one of them witches the Mafia uses. The boss went over with him to have a chat with her and worked out a deal. Pick. What do you know?
So all these
about the
mafiosos, they know, like,
SCP-638B.
magic and witchcraft.
Jack shit. Big man keeps his affairs private. Good thing, too. I don't want none of that deal with the devil business. But at the end of it, she gave us a few little bottles of this hooch. Said if we drank it, everyone would think we were bank guards till we did something to make them think otherwise. Like shooting at them. Pick. So you think the Italian knows more than he's letting on? SCP-638-B. They
That means
always
something?
do. It's why I never dealt with
Is
the
that like a
outfit.
middle finger in
Pinky little
Italian or
sharpers.
something?
They'll stab you in the back. Pick. It sounds like you have something personal against Mr. Fiore. SCP-638-B. Well, I worked with him before. Pick. Didn't go well. SCP-638-B. Take a guess. We got pinched 2 miles outside the city, and he starts chatting up the bull, all polite-like. Before I know it, he's pinned the whole thing on me, the little stool pigeon. Pick. So you don't trust him. SCP-638-B. Not as far as I can throw him. Actually, I think I could throw him pretty damn far.
I've
Don't
heard
trust
someone say that in
anything
the
come out of
wild.
his mouth. Pick. And Mr. Bernstein? SCP-638-B. Bagels might not be Italian, but he's a kike. He ain't much better. Kosher roaster are just
Kike,
as
isn't that
sneaky.
like
They're just quiet
racial
about
slur
it.
for
He's a coward.
yeah.
Doesn't have the killer instinct you need to bump someone. He kept crowing about how he didn't want it to become a massacre. Pick. Noted. Oh, one more thing. Do you know anything about the current whereabouts of Richard Chappelle? SCP-638-B. He was with us when we burned through the vault. And then as soon as the coppers were shooting their way in, gone. Poof. Disappeared into thin air. No idea how he lammed off. We were surrounded. Pick. And what do you think happened? SCP-638-B. You want to know what I really think? He was never even there to start with.
He's a figment of your imagination.
SCP-638-B. He's one of the most powerful people in the world. Why would he risk his body on a bank hit? Pick. Robbing the Federal Reserve is more than just a bank hit, don't you think?
Or he's able to
SCP-638-B.
project his thoughts into people's heads and they
Even
think
more
he's
reason
standing
to
in
send
front of
your
them.
boys and save your own skin. You know what they say about Chappelle? He's unnatural. Who's to say he can't magic himself someplace he ain't? Pick. Well, I'll keep it in mind. And let me guess, you got no idea where the gold is. SCP-638-B. Afraid not, Gumshoe. But Bagels should. He was the one in the vault with the twins when it vanished. He could have stopped them, but he didn't. Means he was in on it. Pick. I see. Thank you for your time. SCP-638-B.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, you. End log. Interviewer. Agent Chad Pick. Subject. SCP-638-C. Begin log. Pick. Hello, Mr. Fiore. SCP-638-C. Hello, Signore. Pick. You're very cheery for someone looking at decades in prison. SCP-638-C. Well, when you're in my business, you learn to look on the bright side of things. Plus, the can is never as bad as people say it is. In,
really?
do your time, out. Pick.
Yeah.
Then I'll make this quick.
Sure, people who died in prison might have thought that too. That's not that bad.
SCP-638-C. I can do
But I
three
guess
questions.
if I had the power of
Certainly.
persuasion,
Pick.
I guess I
What
wouldn't be
do
that
you know
worried
about
either.
the deal Mr. Chappelle made with the Strega? SCP-638-C. Pause. So, you are in the know then. Pick. I am. And I'd like to know more, which is what you're going to tell me. SCP-638-C. Okay. Certainly. I can do that. I don't know about what Signore
I don't know why I thought he said swordly. I can do
She
that.
usually works for the outfit though, so it must have been generous compensation. Or, knowing how the Signore works, sufficiently intimidating. But I know that getting her what she required was the difficult part. She needed something from all the people we were disguising ourselves as.
Oh,
so we
shit.
approached some of the guards and convinced them to part with their hair and blood. Pick.
How you can
know,
what?
It's a nice change of pace to find someone actually willing to answer the goddamn question. Next. Do you
Like,
know
hey,
where
can
the
I have
twins
some of your
moved the
hair and
gold?
some of your blood?
SCP-638.
Like, sure you can.
That I do not, Signore. Pick. Come on. help me out here. You've got your whole life ahead of you. You really want to waste your prime years in the big house? I'm sure helping us recover the bullion would lead to a very appreciative judge. SCP-638-C. I am not, trained thalmic like the twins are. My talents are elemental in nature. But, pick. But, SCP-638-C. I have learned the basic principles of magic. At its core, a spell is concentrated energy from the user, directed to affect mass. We were moving, Lord knows how many tons of gold. Even 2 thalmics are not enough to move that kind of mass large distances. I do not know where it is exactly, but it is somewhere in this city. Probably closer to the reserve than farther. Pick. I understand. SCP-638-C. But spells are not just done on a whim. You need to plan, to know, and see where you
People who aren't
something.
snitches, they start
This
talking like
was
a lot.
pre-planned.
All you gotta do is talk to them a little bit, and they just
You
start
think the twins
saying
double-crossed
everything.
you? SCP-638-C.
Or I guess they starting to feel like each one double crossed the other, so they're like, well, fuck them.
Chappelle double-crossed all of us. He is an intelligent man. He probably plans to buy the brothers out of prison and make good on his deal. Pick. Then I gather you don't know where he actually is. SCP-638-C. No, I do not. But on the off chance that he has the money, that much money, he could do anything he pleased. But he is not a man I sense would be happy buying an island and never speaking to anyone again. The only thing he loves more than danger and vice is being in the know. And that kind of gold could get him as high in any organization as he wanted. My guess, Marshall Carter and Dark are about to get another partner in the business. Pick. A bold assumption.
Marshall
You've been much
Carter
more
and
accommodating
Dark,
than your
who are they?
accomplices, I must admit. SCP-638-C. What can you expect from them? They are lying through their teeth. Pick. And you're not. SCP-638-C. I have no reason to. I've never stayed in the big house for more than a few months. But Signore Bernstein is looking at a murder charge. Pick. Pause. Is he? SCP-638-C. He burned through the vault door without realizing there was a guard stationed on the other side. Little more than a pile of charred bones now. A tragedy. Pick. He seemed adamant that he didn't kill anyone. SCP-638-C. And
Why
why
would he
would
tell
he
you
tell a
that?
detective the truth? You see now why I have no loyalty to any of these buffoons. Pick. Touché. And what about Mr. Moody? SCP-638-C. What of him? Pick. Any insights into his honesty? SCP-638-C. If we're being honest, I do not know too much about Signore Moody. I've never seen him before this job, but he seems a simple button man, too short-sighted to come up with a creative lie to save his skin. Pick. Well, thank you for your honesty, Mr. Fiore. End log. Interviewer. Agent Chad Pick. Subjects. SCP-638-D. SCP-638-E. Begin log. Pick. Hello, gents. I'm not a sign language person, so Mr. Tom, you're going to have to interpret for me. SCP-638-E.
Oh, they're deaf?
Of course. Don't worry. I will do most of the talking. Pick. Right. So, fellas, let's get right down to brass tacks. Where is it? SCP-638-E. Where is what? Pick. Don't jerk me around. Where's the goddamn gold? I know you
There
two
you go,
couldn't
just
have moved
leap
it
over the
far.
table and start beating his ass.
SCP-638-E. You seem tense, officer.
But yeah, would you like to
What are
see him
you,
be
my
tense?
doctor? SCP-638-E.
Like, this is the early 20th century where we can
and finding
beat
the bullion.
criminals in an
And what kind of
interrogation
stake
room,
would that be?
and no one questioned it.
SCP-638E.
In
Doesn't matter.
Chicago too. Shit.
Chicago is a big place, officer. You'll never find it without us. And I think you know what we want. Pick. Don't test me.
See, he about to
I'm
beat
not
his
here
ass.
to make deals. SCP-638D signs something.
I'm here to ask questions, and you're here to answer them.
We are. Pick. Watch
Legion.
that tongue, boy. Unless you want yours cut out too.
Boy.
Silence.
Wait,
Pick. What is it? Both stare.
wait. One of them missing a tongue. Or was that one of them mute?
SCP-638E. How did you know my brother's tongue was cut?
I was thinking. I said
Detective?
deaf. I was like, maybe one of them was
Pick.
mute, and when I was thinking
Bagels
that.
told me. SCP-638D signs something. SCP-638E. How considerate. SCP-638D raises 7 fingers. Pick. What's that mean? SCP-638E.
It means go fuck.
7. The number of bottles we were given. Silence. SCP-638E. Would you like to parlay, officer? At this point, Detective Pick ordered the stenographer out of the interrogation room at once. The remainder of this interview remains untranscribed. End log. Addendum 638-2. Abridged historical report. The day following the arrest of SCP-638, Embedded Agent Chad Pick failed to clock in at Precinct 17 of the Chicago Police Department. The following day,
Does he know where the
a
money's at?
concerned co-worker investigated his apartment, finding the door blown off its hinges. The interior of the apartment was wrecked, showing signs of a significant struggle. Blood was splattered across the ripped furniture and shredded wallpaper.
Damn.
Detective Pick's corpse was discovered
Ooh.
stuffed into a closet and in an advanced state of decomposition, indicating he had been deceased for at least a week prior to the heist. Tufts of hair
So that
were missing
wasn't
from his
him.
scalp. Although he had sustained heavy internal trauma and beating, the cause of death was determined to be exsanguination. After additional
Was
officers
it
arrived at
Chaplin?
the scene, the bodies of
Using that
SCP-638D
fucking
and
potion?
SCP-638E were discovered, stuffed into a large garbage receptacle in an alley behind the building, wrapped in a
And
canvas.
the twins are dead.
Causes of death were a single gunshot wound to the head apiece. It is unclear how or when either individual escaped the police precinct. Richard Davis Chappelle remains at large. The spoils of the heist have never been recovered.
So the detective was dead
Lesson
before the
complete.
heist, and then the
If you
twins
missed
are
the
killed
previous
after the
orientation,
interrogation.
Go watch SCP-637, Viral Cat.
I wonder what
right
they
now.
said to him.
Or for the complete course, watch this playlist.
That had to have been Chaplin. That's in 1940. That had to have been Chaplin. I wonder if my computer's done updating. Whew, it's warm in here, sweating. Sweating, boy. I'm nervous like they are in the interrogation room. I wonder, that had to have been Chaplin that he was using. It said some of his hair is missing. So they said they needed hair and blood, and that makes people think that they are the guards. So you get anybody's hair and blood, some of their hair and some of their blood, they do that potion, and people will think that you are that person. That had to have been it. He was asking questions. Was he trying to see who was going to snitch? Because, I mean, technically, none of them really snitched. I mean, they already knew, the police arrested, they already knew they were involved in it. But they just didn't know where the gold was at. So they couldn't tell that because they said, I don't know where the gold is. I wonder if the twins told him where the gold was at. And then he killed the twins. So the twins couldn't tell anybody else. Because the twins are the ones who, I suppose, teleported the gold out of the room. So, but they did say, I'm forgetting the name. I am horrible at remembering names, especially when I just hear them for the first time. What's his name? The Jewish guy. The 638. I just say 638A. It's the Jewish guy. 638B said that 638A and 638DE was in the vault when the money disappeared. So, or the gold disappeared. I just say gold stuff. So would he know where's that? But he didn't get killed. They say all these people are dead now, except for Chaplin. I don't know where he's at, but it made me think because the twins were killed, and the detective was already dead, so they just used that potion and everything, so they could go in there and interrogate. Maybe Chaplin didn't know where the gold was at, so he got the twins to tell him. But he sent the sonographer out of the room, so we don't know what the twins told him. But then the twins did. So I feel like it had to have been Chaplin to know where the goal was at. Got the twins to tell him where the goal was at. Then kill the twins. Because it seemed like Chaplin was kind of just like, these are just, all these people are means to an end. I don't give a fuck about them. So killed the twins and then went and got the goal. I feel like that's what happened. Seemed like that's what happened to me. And then it's like dude that dead for pick. I love the way you said pick. It was dead a week prior to the heist, so they knew that they were gonna get caught, or they all didn't know that. Maybe if I'm correct, and it's Chaplin who did this. Chaplin knew that Pick was going to be the lead detective on it, so he killed him in advance. But that mean he was walking around as Chaplin for a week doing detective shit. And just have them make a bunch of those little potions. He just, if it only lasts one day, he drink one, and then make sure he drink another every 24 hours. Because the guy's dead, he just take whatever he wants. But yeah, that was interesting. I feel like I've read this before, heard this before. Like, I know I've watched a lot of SCP stuff prior to even doing reaction to SCP stuff. So, and some of that shit, I was watching so much of it, like at the start of the pandemic. I think back in '08 or '09 or something like that. Where I read about uh why am I forgetting the SCP? Why I just had it in my head, my brain just like bloop, just blanked out. Is it seven? Snap your name. And then of course I think I heard about the shy guy back then. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know SCP the stone thing. I think it's 731. Yeah, unless I'm thinking about or it's 707 or because now I'm thinking, am I thinking about that Japanese like torture camp they had in World War II? Was a Unit 731? Because I was watching that. I mean, I've read about that years ago, but I was watching that recently. A video of that. It was like shit, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. And if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe when you're here. Hit that bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.